Hey guys, I'm actually gonna turn this light on. There we go. How things? Oh man, that hurt a little bit. How things going out there, my friends? What's going on, Ben C? Where you writing in from, Ben? That hurt. Got my triglyceride report, my health stuff from my doc the other day. Like I said, my triglycerides is a little bit high, LDL a little bit low, HDL high, so it's all good. Tina, what's going on? Loretta Graham, Dan Young's right on. Tina, we left off last time talking about the wonders of the war on drugs. So I'm just joking you. It was fun. Hey, Clint, my man Clint in the house. What's up, Clint? We got Melissa. All right. Iceman 57. Oh boy. All right. Iceman 57. Oh man, I haven't received. So my man Iceman 57. Ola. Hey, Kara, what's going on, man? Ola. We speak Spanish. I'm curious. I ordered a writer's copy of the book too, but apparently I'm not getting mine until Friday. So if you would shoot me an email when you get it, I see the format on the digital PDF when you're looking like you're flipping the pages over, but I haven't seen it in the actual the paperback version yet. And I thought it wasn't available for purchase, but obviously I saw 3 people bought it today, and I haven't made a note of making advertisement of it yet. So if you don't mind, if you could shoot me an email and let me know, if you don't have to read, look, just get the look at the cover, make sure there's nothing there that looks, jacked up. If you don't mind, you don't have to give me a full-fledged report, because I'm going to get my copy on Friday. But if they do deliver to you on Tuesday, if you could tell me if it looks all right, because then I'll start letting people know about it. The Kindle looks fine. The Kindle looks good. Thanks, man. So just while I'm yapping here. So if you go to, I got, all my, hold on a sec. I got my various apps, as you can see here. Here's my Kindle app. And I bought my own book. And that's what, if you're an author, you should absolutely buy your own book. Just make sure it looks good. I mean, you're always going to find something. I did find one. But anyway, you can see these are some of my books on there. You can see like a lot of baseball books. So there's my book right there. And that came out real well. The wrong one. There we go. So this came out. It comes out on the phone. It comes out fine. And there's on the Kindle itself, it looks pretty good. It came out fine too. The phone is color. So one guy asked, how do you differentiate between the blue and red on a couple of my graphs there? And so you see the color, which is nice. And I was going to see if but on the Kindle, which is in black and white, at least my Kindle is black and white, it's not in color, so it's tough. But the phone actually comes out real well. It looks great. I'm a big fan of that for sure. So here's the chapter. Medical bankruptcy is killing them. I was going to show you this other visual if I can find it. Like this guy right here. That's a St. Louis Fed right there. So on the phone, it looks great. On the Kindle, it looks good too. I like the Kindle. I just don't know what it looks like in the paperback. So if y'all, if you do buy it, and I would, maybe don't buy the paperback yet, because I haven't confirmed it yet. What happens when you're publishing a book on Amazon, by the way, is you get this preview of it, all right, in electronic, and you can click it like you're flipping the pages over, and it looked fine. Everything looked good in there, but until I actually see it in the print, because what happened with my first book, this guy, stupid CreateSpace, it looked fine on the PDF on the flip over thing, but then they screwed up royally. It's weird, man. When they printed it off, see where you see that not exclamation, freaking quote thing. That quote, what the hell is it called? Quotation mark. Anyway, that was all jacked up. I was on the horn with them for like a month, and they said, "Oh, we fixed it," and they sent me another one that wasn't fixed. So anyway, appreciate it, comrade. Why would anyone call me comrade, James? But I appreciate that, man. So it's good. I'd just like to know. All right, so the book is out. It's $9.99 on Kindle, and it's I can't remember how much I charge on the on the paperback. $14.99, I think. I forgot. But anyway, $9.99 on Kindle, $14.99 on the paperback. It's 120 pages, but it is double space. You always want to do double space. I have 23, 27, 28 tables in there and other charts, but and just, I mean, a hell of a lot of footnotes. A lot of the footnotes are just articles and stuff, but there's some good research in there too. So I'm stoked. I'm completely excited about the book. I hope you buy it. Absolutely. It is available for Kindle Unlimited. If you're a Kindle Unlimited, it's free. In fact, if you go to Kindle Unlimited, I think they give you 3 months for free before you have to pay. So you can download as I think it's 2 books at a time or something like that. I forgot. Under Kindle Unlimited and read it, and then you can say, I don't want Kindle Unlimited. And believe it or not, that actually pays me. So if you're a Kindle Unlimited, even if you don't subscribe and you just want to try the sample and you read my book, Amazon has this, I forgot what they call it, but they have this thing where the global thing where if people read it on Kindle Unlimited, that actually does pay me. Not much, but I mean, it pays me. I mean, it adds up, man. I'm not going to lie. It's I mean, again, it's not going to freaking make me get out of my t-shirts, but it pays. So definitely buy the book. All right. $17.99 paperback. Yeah, because I'm a freaking capitalist, baby. Capitalist JD. Of course, I only get $5 of that or something like that. I was charging, this guy is $18.99 because it's color. And that was dumb. That was a mistake. It should not have done that. This guy was $9.99 because it's not color. And this one right here, my new one, it's not colored either, but it has a lot more tables, and it took me a lot longer for sure. Huntsville, Alabama in the house, right on. $17.99 paperback. I'm buying book for substance, not appearance. Random typos are no biggie. Now, yeah, no, I appreciate that. I agree with that 100%. In fact, I was reading an article today. I was like, oh man, there's a typo in there, not mine. I was just like, yeah, but I agree. It doesn't bother me that much. Okay, what else we got? So I want to share with you real quick. Enjoy your YouTube. Right on, Craig. Right on. Appreciate that. Love your tax bond book. I look forward to getting your new book. Right on, Mark. Appreciate it. Ordering ordering now. Right on, man. Okay, here we go. Marie in the house. Jay from Virginia. Right on, Jay. All right. Had 3 appointments with folks today. All right. And I just want to share a running Paul. All right. Appreciate that. Orange County, CA. First time. All right, Mel. Welcome aboard, my friend. And Robert, you will get the first question of the day. My wife and my oldest 2 are in Dublin as we speak. All right. It's pretty cool. And they've been to London a couple times because my wife has a sister who lives in Cambridge. I had no desire to go, but I would like to go to Ireland. So my wife she loved Dublin, smaller, slower town than London for sure, but Raleigh, North Carolina, right on, Orlando. And so it's just me and the 2 boys here and just partying like crazy. It's just been fun. Dallas. All right. So I have 3 appointments today, and there's a running consistent theme here. And I want to share it with you. I'm going to write on this. And for you, I've done a couple videos on this before, and I'm sure I'll do it again. Pennsylvania in the house, North Carolina, Dallas. Yep. All right. Just checked out from Kindle Unlimited. Right on, Daniel. All right. Well, Ireland is, no, I have never been, I don't have any desire to travel overseas other than Ireland and PEI, where my man Ross is, Prince Edward Island. That's not really overseas, but overseas would be Ireland and Prince Edward Island is the only 2 places I want to go. David, New Jersey, Dunwoody, Virginia. All right, just right down the street. Arizona, Massachusetts. I can't even pronounce that, but in Louisiana. Right on, man, Louisiana. All right, so here's your retirement plan. I'm just telling you right now, it is the simplest thing ever. And debt. No debt, pension, no pension. All right. Now my handwriting is not great because I'm still fighting this rotator cuff, but you'll see if you can factor in no debt and pension, you are going to be fine. It's the funniest thing. Just these 3 people back to back to back. I'm going to talk to another guy and a lady here local in Georgia tomorrow on the phone. and they have a pension, and if memory serves, they don't have debt either. And I'm telling you, man, it's there, and the reason, and it doesn't, and people say, well, how big does the pension have to be? It doesn't matter. I'm just telling you right now, it doesn't matter. And the reason for that is because it sounds disparaging. The simplicity of living the life where you pay your bills and you stay in one job for long enough to get a pension. There's a mentality, and look, anyone will argue switching jobs is the best way to get a pay raise. I'm telling you right now, no one would deny that. But there's a mentality that sits there sitting in one job for 20, 30 years, something like that, getting that pension. And most of these same people they're just conservative minded, not politically, but they're the millionaire next door. And so the guys I'm talking to today, the retirement quadrant, exactly, Harry. The guys I'm talking to today are just, I mean, they drive, all of them drive their cars until the wheels fall off. It's the, whatever that guy's book was, I forgot his name, Tom Stanley or something like that, Ralph Stanley, the fiddler, the bluegrass guy. The guy wrote Millionaire Next Door. So I don't know how to say stay in your crappy old job to get a pension. I won't say that, but the thing that runs true is that a lot of the people who have a pension also have no debt. They were able to pay off their homes, and they don't live in highfalutin, fancy schmancy homes. The guy's talking to today, he and his wife were in a freaking almost evicted from a trailer back in 2000. I think he was saying 2008. Because of the Great Recession, and maybe it was 2000. I can't remember. It's not that long ago. Almost, rent I would count as debt, Mark. I know it's a little bit of a quandary, but if it's an outgoing payment you got to come up with, it's an outflow that you have to have. That doesn't mean you can't retire successfully with these things. It just means if you have all that stuff in place, I just know the financial planning is going to be fine. I just know it because I've done this so many times. There's always one consistent thing. If you have no debt and a pension, and I mean, it's like they go like Nutter Butter. You know what Nutter Butters are? Peanut butter and marshmallow. I don't know if they have those in the rest of the country, but peanut butter and marshmallows would be is a freaking wonderful treat, man. It's freaking bad for you as all can be, but man, throw some marshmallows, melted marshmallow, fluffernutter on peanut butter. Ooh, that's good. I could eat 20 of those sandwiches. But anyway, it's just interesting though. So this guy was maybe in mid 2000s, something like that. His wife lost her job. They couldn't make ends meet. They were literally living in a trailer, and they almost got put out of the trailer. And now fast forward, and the issue is they got a pension and debt. Now and there's something else too I want to point out. The drawback is that he is a widower in this one case, and it's just. So his wife died young. All right, is all there is to it. So that they were going to be fine regardless, absolutely, because they got over the hump or just throwing money away like you would believe and living frugally. But the problem was that she died suddenly, and it just there's another thing too that I just wanted to point out. You don't know when your time's going to come. You don't, and it's sad because I think about my wife and me. Freaking how poor we were back in the day and how much we struggled. And that's what these guys went through. And then, to be able to finally see you're on the cusp of just, you have it going on and all of a sudden just taken away from it. It just sucks. But this guy's got a good heart and he's a positive guy. And it sucks, man. He's not, obviously sad. I mean, he says grief is, he can't describe the grief, and it's like a pain. You can't describe it. But he's hanging in there. The issue on that though is just that you don't want to wait too long to enjoy whatever it is you're going to enjoy. I don't know, but just sad. So secondly, all right, don't forget, if you have been married for 10 years, you have access to your survivor benefits. So with this guy, and this is one of the times that you take Social Security and or your pension early. So in this case, and I would write it down my blackboard, I'm still not quite where I want it to be. So we're running plans for this guy, and if he takes his pension at 60, it'd be like $950 a month. If he waits till he's 65, it'd be like, I think he said $1,500 or $1,600 a month. So the question is, he should wait to take his pension, right? Because that's a 60% increase benefit. So at 60, I can't remember, but they reduce it by some amount. Nope. All right, hold on. Are we back? All right, looks like we're back. I just got a note from YouTube, so I was buffering. Looks like we're back. All right, cool. All right, so anyway, his issue is that if he should take his pension, have it $950 a month, and then he'd get her Social Security at we'll just say it's $2,200 a month. So he'd be getting $3,250 a month on Social Security, his survivor benefit, and his reduced pension. So her Social Security benefit would be reduced because of the survivor benefit. The pension would be reduced. But what happens is when he hits 70, he can take his full benefit, which by then with delayed earnings credits would be like $3,800 a month, and he still gets that $950 a month in pension. North Dakota, man, right on. So, oh man, I just got to drink my. Hold on a sec. So, if you're a survivor if you're a surviving spouse, please, and yeah, I mean, you might not be today, but you could be. Just please. There's huge benefits. Hey, Semper Fi, right on. What do we say? Hua in the Army and Aouf in the Marine Corps. If you're a survivor, remember, please do not just take what Social Security is offering right out of the gate. In fact, Devin Carroll just did a video today how they're closing all these Social Security Administration offices, and now you're going to be left with just phone, and you don't know who you're talking to on the telephone. So I just thought it was pretty interesting there. So all right, let's see what we got here. Some questions. All right, let's see. So. Yeah, my man Jim says I'm a bachelor that will receive a pension when I plan to retire, and he'll be a full-time RVer. Yeah, right on, man. A Tom Major in the house. I do count rent as debt. I don't want to say debt explicitly, but yeah, it's a cash outflow, Mark. My man JD will have 35 years at the same place at 59, and will retire with pension paid off home at 53 years old. Yeah, that's. So I mean, just if you're let's just say where everybody's our man JD out there, you're 59 with a home paid off and a pension. The only thing that would keep you at work would be what? Would be freaking healthcare. That's the only thing that would be keeping you at work. And I don't know. This is where you have to dive into the ACA. Forget for the time being the deductions, the subsidies you get. We'll talk about that, but just forget about that for the time being. The question is the only thing that should keep you at your work, unless you're happy. Another guy I talked to today could easily quit today. Easily quit. We talked about he and his wife. His wife wants a pool, and he wants to put solar panels on. And we're like, and we ran it, and we said she can do both. And I said, but let's just do it 1 year at a time. Which comes first, your wife's pool or your solar panels? And of course, the wife's pool comes first. I said, well, hell, do it. I said, and this guy will call him Jack. I said, Jack, it's not Jack, but I said, Jack, you could retire if you want, but he works for the church, and he's not getting paid huge, but he's getting paid a decent amount, $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and he likes what he's doing, and he's helping out the church at the same time, so he doesn't want to quit, so he wants to keep working, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that in the least. More power to him. You're helping out the church. You're able to draw enough income where you don't have to take money out of your retirement plans, and at the same time you're able to use a little bit of that money to go towards. I think he said 30,000 for solar panels, and probably 100,000 total to redo the house. This pool and things of that nature in the backyard. I said, and they're going to live there for the rest of their life. And then anyway. But if he hated his job, he could still do the same thing. And why not do that now? But I need health insurance. No, I get that. And to a mama's credit, the pre-existing conditions on the ACA is not an issue, which is why it's so doggone expensive. But I get that. But to argue this anymore is water under the bridge. It is what it is, and it's here. So not to take advantage of it if it's available to you it would be silly to me. So if you can get on the ACA, even with pre-existing conditions, and no one, hopefully, and I don't know, I'm not an expert that there's an out-of-pocket max. Essentially they're going to cover you catastrophic and I don't know what, 10,000 a year, 15,000 a year for deductible, whatever it is, plus your premium. Well, you can do that. I mean, I don't know how the coverage would be. I just don't know. I've heard both. I've heard good and bad, and I don't know, but I leave that up to you. So if I'm my man JD and I got a pension, but I don't get to keep my health benefits, that would be something you want to look at. Say, I'm hanging it up. Well, what are you going to do for health insurance? If I'm going on Obamacare or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, it's sad that health insurance is it keeps people from leaving their job until they're 65 because of the problem that could happen if you had a heart attack and didn't have health insurance. Rent rent versus, see, I get this a lot. I think you can make a case, it's in a lot of ways, that renting is better than home ownership, other than when it comes to retirement, because renting is an expense. It's a cash flow. It's a debit on your cash flow. And because of that, being a homeowner is better as long as you own the home. Now, I get it with property tax, and you got property tax. Talk to these guys in New York today, and they pay $13,000, $14,000 a year in property tax. I mean, that's a lot of freaking money. That's a lot more than some rent in some places. But the counter to that is not going to get a rental in New York for $14,000 a year. It's just not going to happen. And so, I mean, the property taxes aren't going to be more than the rental in whatever location you find yourself in. So if you can hang it up with no rent and no mortgage, hang up your boots, I'm saying, and just have property tax, that's the way to go. But I just real quick, I want to stress again why property taxes are so much more of a concern of mine than income taxes. All right. Because especially state income tax, because state income tax aren't anywhere near what the federal income tax is. And you can go to Delaware, you can go to Texas, you can go to Tennessee, you're still paying the Fed's income tax. The issue is that Texas has huge property taxes. New Hampshire has huge property taxes. So you got to look at it the way I see it. I'd much rather have you live in a state. And look, I love Texas. I love Tennessee. I love New Hampshire. I'd much rather have you live in a state, though, that has low property taxes and higher income taxes, because income taxes are easier to control. And in the state, I mean, I just did plans for guys in California, and it's just not a big burden. It's just not. It's the property tax that are the burden. So New York, New Jersey, Texas, New Hampshire, those places have significant property taxes that you can't get around. And yeah, I know they got some homestead exemptions and whatnot. It's not going to be enough to write the whole thing off. And I had a friend who lives in Louisiana now, but he was up near West Point. He's a West Point grad. So I had to talk to him in a very slow, methodical way, because, West Point grads, not the sharpest knives in the drawer. If anyone is offended by that, pipe down. It's a joke, man. I was enlisted in the infantry. I didn't get above private E1 until I'd been in there for a year. So I'm the kettle called, I'm the whatever it's called, the kettle black. You know what I'm saying? So just relax. But anyway, some of these guys who, how dare you say I am not that smart? I'm a West Point grad. I'm a Harvard grad. I'm so smart. I'm just relax. Anyway, so what was I saying? So this guy was up there, and outside of Highland Falls. If you're familiar with that area, West Point, I forgot the county, and he was paying like $24,000 a year in property tax, and they were going to raise it another. I think they just passed a thing to raise it by 3% or something like that. And you're thinking 3%, that's not that big. It's like $400 a month. $400 a month just to increase his property tax. So to say the least, he freaking skedaddled as quick as he could and got back to Baton Rouge. He lived there, but he lives right north of New Orleans now. But man, so property tax. Tax Bomb's a great read. There is hope. Right on, man. Appreciate it. I lived in a fifth wheel for 23 years, an employer's property rent free. Saved her $250,000 not paying rent. Moved to Cumming, Georgia to downsize. Right on. Where are you at right now, Paul? Did you already say that? I can't remember. Yeah, Cumming, Georgia. It's right up the street, man. It's booming up there. Thomas Stanley. Yep, right there you go. The millionaire next door. Houston in the house. I never had any debt on my home that I paid out. Yeah, see, and I don't have the hard copy of my new book, or so I show it there as a sales pitch. But I mean, I just show you explicitly, and well, you saw the videos on it. I guess you could see that. A balanced life by living with moderation, no extremes either way. I haven't read the next Millionaire Next Door. So my man Al Can says the next Millionaire Next Door is a good read too. Well, there you go. Great Riff is here. It says he was going to buy a house here in Texas when I retire, but the property taxes are crazy because there's no state income tax. And that's, I remember when George W. Bush was governor, they were proposing, and he almost got suckered into it, reducing this property tax in Texas and instead incorporating a state income tax. Thankfully, he didn't fall for that, but that was a big thing. But there you go. They got to raise the revenue somehow, and they do from property tax. Is TIA guaranteed income taxable? Oh, absolutely. If you got an annuity from TIA, that's certainly taxable, man, without question. Full-time RVer, retired at 54, almost 3 years on a pension. There you go, man. Okay, missed some stuff. Hold on a second. Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. Hoorah, the Marine Corps, right on. Okay. Ooh, Rain and USMC. Where's my hotel room that says the Air Force? That's just rude, my man. And I think that's my man from Maine. Mainers, not very polite. If you buy a house in Texas, make sure you get your homestead property, get your property tax reduced. Yeah, in fact, just my man Paul, who's thinking about moving to Georgia and coming, is in Forsyth County. I live in Fulton County. So just make sure by April 1st, you register your home for the property homestead exemption. April 1st in Georgia, at least it's county specific. Some are March 15th. In Fulton County, it's April 1st. You got to be in the office before April 1st and file your homestead exemption. I didn't do that for 5 years, and I probably paid another $200 or $300 total in taxes each year that I could have, or maybe 400, something like that. It was stupid. I'm from hot Connecticut. Jay is Mary, right on. Almost 100 in Massachusetts today. That must mean global warming. I want to see how many people drop off when I make light of global warming. It's actually sad, man. I posted a video. It's just, if I can show it to you, just sad. It's just, oh man, there is something in humanity that makes us want to just be negative. And I want to just show you something real quick. Bear with me just a second. So I posted this video right here, why everything will collapse. And you should watch it. It's some of the stuff I actually agree with the guy on. Literally. I mean, and then you read the comments and just the people, see some people dropping off. That's funny. I find it to be sad how many people are just in this. I mean, just read the comments of that. It's sad. It's sad. It really is. And the fact that so many people are living in abject panic of this. It's kind of like when I was growing up and living in abject panic of a real threat, which was the commies and their freaking nuclear missiles. And what I was living in panic was Reagan, because I was raised by the left. My mom cried when Reagan was elected in 1980. We had campaigned hard for Carter. And I remember campaigning hard, and even back then when I was 6 years old, for the far left wing of the Democratic Party. And I remember my mom scared the hell out of me, saying Reagan is going to kill us all. And there's abject fear in that. And obviously that was a real threat. But this just, I'm reading the comments on here, and the people are they don't like human beings. There's no other way around it. Humans are at fault. But I don't, this level of just pure, it's not even panic. It's just this defeat where it's just as sad. And it pisses me off, because you're sitting here in the best humanity has ever had right here. And how could you look around you and be freaking despondent about the future? I literally don't understand it. I don't get it. And I don't want to get it, frankly. It's crazy to me. And it's the same kind of negativity that drives that stuff that drives the people in our own history. My man, guy sent me just a couple of emails a few minutes ago before I got on, talking about Susie Orman. We talked about her before, but something else about let's see, the biggest bull market ever yet. The biggest bull market ever, yet disaster looms for millions of retirees. And of course, Susie Orman says you need 5 million to retire. Anyway, freaking hate it. I hate that stuff. Now, I don't want you to freaking light cigars with $100 bills, and I don't want you freaking throwing crap on the street. I don't like that, but it's sad. I'm reading this, and you feel like you just want to say, wake up, shake out of this. This doomsday stuff is silly, especially when you read what these guys say, that New York and Miami are going to be underwater by 2050. And people actually believe that. And yet the people who say that still buy houses on the freaking beach. All right. There'll be snow soon, right, Rob? Exactly. Should I take my... okay, so good question. Yeah, normal Texas weather. What Connecticut, Maine? Ooh, that was brutal. And here down here, it's freaking nuts, man. Even in Georgia, today was a beautiful. That whole next week is gonna be beautiful. But man, last week was tough. 90% humidity, 98 degrees. All right, I'm 64. Should I take my TIA guaranteed income or wait until I'm 65? Yeah, I literally no idea, man. Usually those TIA guaranteed incomes are pretty smoking deals. So I don't know. I don't know I can't answer that. California property tax hammer is something. Wait, man, I'm not sure. Thanks for all your work you do on YouTube. You got silver, gold. Josh, another one of your videos, a poster likes the idea of using that's Wellesley as an alternative to cash. Yeah, that's my man Alberto, I think. I don't like that much. The thing with cash and CDs are synonymous. I just want to make that clear. So when I say cash, I'm also talking about CDs. The issue with the Wellesley is that it's 35 roughly % stocks and the rest in bonds, corporate bonds. And look, it's got a great return. It does, but it's not a safe. It's just not safe like cash is. And I get it. It's always done well, has never got killed. It got killed in 2008, I think. It was down almost 10%. And so getting killed at being down 10% is not quite the same as, being killed at 37%, but like the S&P 500 did. But cash didn't do that. Cash was there, right? And so I just don't like using investment securities as my cash account. I don't. I mean, again, I get it that you can do that and try to get more money on the back end, and you probably will. But it still's got 35% stocks. I mean, let's not overlook the fact that it was down 10%. And I don't even know from October 2007 to March 9th of 2009, it was down certainly more than 10%. Let's just say 15%. I mean, that's a trying event if that's your safe money, man. And if we look at Wellington Fund, it was down 36% from that time frame. I mean, so Wellington is the mirror opposite of Wellesley. But the facts it got corporate bonds, which got hammered, the facts it has stocks in there, which got hammered. I just don't like that. I don't like that approach at all. I think the cash should be, literally should be your safe money. So that's why I don't like corporate bonds in there, or even U.S. government bonds, because I like U.S. government bonds if I can get more bang for my buck relative to what a same certificate is doing, but I can't. I mean, if the 10-year Treasury right now is what 2.04, and I'll show you again. Hold on a sec. So the 10-year Treasury right now is 2.048. So if I can lock in my money I say this every single week, if I can lock in my money for 10 years, a guaranteed interest of 2.048 from the federal government, that's guaranteed, or I could go down to the local credit union and buy a certificate of 2, 3, 4, 5 years of 2.5, 2.2, something like that. I'm taking a CD 100 times out of 100, and I don't know why. Yeah, but the Wellesley is not that. It's volatile. So no, I'm not a big fan of that. Bath, New York, mobile home in Bath, New York, no taxes. In Austin, senior apartment go for about $700 a month of income under 40K. Must be some rent control there, Harry. Only thing I could think. My man Kevin. Sad when I hear folks are retiring and are bored with nothing to do. You have to plan and not commit your life to work. I took 2 lesser paying jobs so I could coach and be around family. No, a lot of people need help out there. So, hopefully there'll be something to do that might not include being compensated for, but certainly, like I said, the Little League coach. I mean, what I would suggest, I just bought this book today. It's Machinery's Handbook. And I don't know that much about machinery. One of these days, I'm going to learn welding because I want to build my own gasifier. That's one of these days I want to do it. And so this is the Bible of the mechanical industries, and I can't wait to read it. But just think, you could, they're not teaching any skills to young boys or even girls. And even girls. A good friend of mine who I was at USAA with, his daughter took welding classes and is freaking welding all kinds of these wonderful in Texas and San Antonio. My man Ken, and she's welding all these like barbecue pits and stuff. It's freaking awesome. I love it. But just think of all the young boys out there who are giving them freaking whatever the stuff is for ADHD and ADD and all that stuff. And we could say, no, forget that. I mean, look, I'm not a doctor. It seems to me that might be a little bit overly prescribed. Let's get you out and do some kind of work, with your hands because you're so freaking bored sitting in class. But you like to do stuff with your hands, Legos. You like electronics because you're on the game console all the time. Let's figure out how we can put 2 and 2 together. And you could be a volunteer on that through a church group or I don't know anything about Boy Scouts, but something like that. Hey, why just sit around and go to McDonald's and fight politics all day long with a guy with a Make America Great hat on or a guy with that Obama thing? There's so many people that could use your help, and so many, hell, just take some kids on fishing tours. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you like to fish. Kids want to learn fishing. Inner city kids have never been fishing. Man, frankly, I think there's so much you can do for kids who need the help for sure, and even young men. That's what my man Wrangler stars, why he's so successful, because he's showing, and I don't know if y'all follow him, I do on his YouTube channel, I love that guy. He's showing people how to do quote unquote manly work that they were never taught, and which is weird because my dad was a carpenter in San Francisco working on the docks when he met my mom back in the late 60s. And I never learned anything. And he tried to teach me. I don't like it. Bored. I said, I don't want to do that. I want to go. And I like to read. I've always liked to read. And now I look in hindsight, I said, man, I wish I learned some skills from my dad. But still, with that said, now we have YouTube and stuff, but it's nothing better than the personal. I mean, so I agree, Kevin. My man Ben says, if you're over 80 and have and are disabled, it might be better to live in a over 55 community if you want to rent a condo. Jeff C. Oh, yeah. All right. So my man Jeff says, is it okay to have all IRA accounts in one company such as Vanguard? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. A lot of people say, what happens if Vanguard goes bankrupt or something like that? It does. A, it's owned by his shareholders, so it won't. But B, even if it did, it doesn't matter. The issue is that the fund, the holdings, it's not the custodian. So Vanguard's the custodian. Schwab is the custodian. USA is a custodian. They're just in charge of keeping track of your portfolios. That's it. You still actually own a portion of the shares or the stocks or the bonds that are in those funds, if that makes sense. So as long as those stocks don't go kaput all at once, and I just posted today from my man Nick Murray, who said the idea that 505 of the biggest companies in the world with $25 trillion in value are all going to go kaput at one time, or something, I'm paraphrasing. It seems kind of absurd when you think about it. $25 trillion in value, 505 of the biggest in the S&P 500, essentially. The idea they're all going to go kaput, not quite. And so because of that, you don't need to worry so much about the custodian because if Vanguard went bankrupt, Schwab would take them over. In fact, USA is getting ready to be bought out, looks like, by Charles Schwab. Not USA, the insurance side, but on the investment side. So Schwab's, it looks like they're going to take over USA. And that's just literally for the shareholder or the people who own USA Investments, your old buddy Josh. That's just, it's going to go USA, Schwab. That's it. The custodian changes. Nothing else changes. My man JD says he wants to quit, but working 3 more years until 59 just to feel, yeah, no, absolutely, man. Can save another $120K in 3 more years of healthcare. I completely think that's, man, right on. I look, man. Unless you are literally at the risk of a heart attack now, work an extra couple of years. Like, it's funny because everyone I talk to when I run these plans, I said, look, you can cut out in 2 years, you can cut out today, but it's just when you have that end goal in mind. Yeah, if I can stay there another 2 years. Even my boss pisses me off. I have FU money. Y'all know what FU money is? And so I have the FU money, which says at the end of the day, I can always cut out at my discretion, if that makes sense. I can always discretion. Yeah, I can always say I am out of here, boss, because I have FU money. And so that allows. It's kind of like when I was in the Army, man. You always did, I don't know, 30 days and a whatever to wake up. I can't remember. You're always like, oh man, I got 30 days. That's it. I have an end game. It's just easier to mentally account for the end game because you're like, I just got to do this for 30 more days and I'm done. It's easier. It really is. Same thing at some crappy old job. Like, I got 2 years, my end game. So my boss pisses me off, water under the bridge. Actually, one of the reasons why when I was in the Army, I talked to some of these guys who went to the Q course of Special Forces. I could never do it because they say they make you take these, I'll share this with you, these 5-gallon water jugs and 5 gallons on each side, and you just have to walk. and there's no end. They just walked until they told you not to. I said, man, I couldn't do that. Just walk. And sometimes you walk 50 feet or 50 meters, whatever. Sometimes you have to walk a couple clicks, whatever it was. But I said, I could never do that because I need to know what my end game is. And I said, that would never work for me. Austin, Texas. Yeah, it can be very stressful. Yeah, I agree. Austin, every time on a Sunday, drive through Austin, I just want to jump off a bridge. It's nuts. Where can we get a retirement calculator to make sure we have enough retirement on? I mean, there were, so Sharon, where can we get a retirement calculator to make sure we have enough to retire on? I mean, there's 1,000 million of them out there. For starters, I would use the one at Kotlikoff's website, which is maximize my Social Security. I think ESP Planner. It's $40 a year. At least it used to be $40 a year. I think last week someone says is now 75. I think it's money well spent. But there's tons of retirement calculators. Absolutely. My man, I think I'm going to move out of Texas when I retire. I'm looking at Florida, South Carolina, Utah. Yeah, I'm not going to Florida, just too hot and humid. South Carolina, I like it. Up in Greenville area is fantastic. Just, again, hot and humid for me, man. The humidity eats me alive. I know it's humid in the Northeast, and I'll never go back to this true Northeast, but Virginia. I think Virginia or well, I don't know about South Dakota so much anymore. We'll see. I always got Rapid City in my brain. We shall see. I like the idea of no humidity, but I don't think I could take the cold anymore. So it got to be a place where it's green and not that much humidity. I don't think that's. Don't think they go hand in hand. The reason it's green because it's humid. Pensions making Roth conversions not working for us. Yeah, absolutely. Debbie, that happens a lot. 100% that happens a lot. In fact, that's a drawback about a pension. It's a good place to be. And it's funny that you said that. I talked to a couple guys today just about this exact same thing. I said, I just don't see a benefit of doing Roth conversions. There isn't any. If you have the pension, that will make it so you use up your standard deductions without question. So what's going to happen is your pension, we'll say your pension is $50,000 a year or whatever, $30,000 a year, we'll say $30,000 a year, $2,500 a month. It doesn't matter. But if you're married filing jointly, you got a $30,000 pension, immediately you used up your standard deduction. So now you have $5,000 of taxable income. So immediately you're in the 10% tax bracket right there alone. All right. So you've already used up your standard deduction. We're already into the 10% tax bracket. And what happens is any Roth conversions you're going to do from there on out is going to be subject to quickly outside the 10, quickly in the 12, and probably even into the 22%. Hard to make that argument to do that in that regard. In a brokerage account where my dividends are reinvested, how do I figure out when I sell what is long-term gain versus short-term gain? Some dividends are older. Yeah, I don't know. You're going to have to see, Robert, about what they're saying on your statement about what's your short-term game and your long-term game. I mean, they should keep a running tally of every single investment that you have in there, reinvested as well in terms of what looks to be short-term and long-term. If it's not, they're supposed to. I do want to talk. In your brokerage statements, you'll see something that says covered shares and non-covered shares. And what that means is in 2011 and 12, if memory is, I think it's 2011, 12, the SEC, and I think it was under Obama's guidance, actually. This was good. I don't know why this wasn't happening before. They mandated brokerage firms, custodians. They keep the cost basis of investments going forward. So if it's covered, that means any investment made essentially after 2011 and or 2012, depending on a couple different things, is covered. That means there's a cost basis. All right, if that makes sense. If it's non-covered, that means there is no cost basis. We don't know what it is. And so I was talking to a guy today, he's got some stock he bought like in the 80s or something like that. It's worth $200,000. We got no idea what his cost basis is. None. I'm like, and I don't blame him. It's just no one knows. And so like when he sells that sucker, it's going to be a freaking nightmare. So I told him, I said, that should be an account you leave to your heirs. Unless you really need the money, which he doesn't, that should be an account you never touch. Now, also, I just got to say this too. The guy's interested. The church is doing a capital campaign, so he's trying to raise some money for his church. He's said he's going to give $20,000. So he's like, hey, how should I give this money? All right. So if you're going to give to a church, or just some 501(c)(3) or something like that, a charitable organization, please, for the love of the good Lord, do not give cash, and certainly do not give stocks that are down in value. I cannot stress this enough. Don't give a stock that's underwater. That is bad, 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 bad. Don't give cash. Give a stock that has a unrealized gain. Going back to this guy's example, I said, man, so he's got 2 stocks that have unrealized or capital gains, unrealized gains. So he has 2 of them. All right. He's got 2 stocks that have losses, and he's got some cash. Of the stocks to give, of the all those 3 things to give, the last thing he wants to give is the stocks that are down in value, because he could sell those and take a deduction of $3,000 against interest, or at least he could write off some of his capital gain, or both. Cash, because there is the basis in cash and the value is the same thing. So whatever cash is, there is no unrealized gain and no unrealized loss. It trades for what you purchase it at. So you're essentially giving something away that has no benefit at all to you from a tax perspective, other than you have the deduction. I get that. But if you have an unrealized gain in the position, in this case, he had a mutual fund from Putnam with the expense ratio is about I think it was a little bit over 1% or something like that. I can't remember. And he had some unrealized gains in there. I said, screw that. Just get rid of that stupid fund. Give it to the church. They will then sell it. You'll get the deduction on all of it, potentially. It depends on what his overall situation is, but he certainly will get a deduction. And the unrealized gain, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's gone. And now if you want to do that again later on, you start giving some stock of whatever the stock, GE or whatever it was, to the church, and do that later too. So if you don't know your cost basis, that is the most wonderful thing to give, because you don't need to know a cost basis unless you're down. If you know you're down, well, you should. If you're down, you know your cost basis inherently. But if you don't know it and you've had the stock for a number of years and it looks like it's uncovered because you've had it since 1995 and you have no clue what you paid for it, or you did dividend reinvestments like my man Robert here, give that sucker to your charity. Let them sell it. They take the proceeds, no capital gains are due, you get the deduction, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. All is good in Wall Street. All is bad in Wall Street or Main Street when you're giving stocks for a loss. The church, they're not going to know this, but don't do that. And what they should say is this up or down in value relative to what you paid for it? And if it's down, they should say we can't accept it. They're not going to do that because they're desperate for the money. I don't blame them. You need to know that. And so I told this guy, because he works at the church, I said, man, tell everybody, because he's obviously active in this capital campaign. I said, please, for the love of the good Lord, tell people not to give stocks that are down in value. Don't give cash, and give stocks that are up in value. So, okay. So my man Paul moved from Texas, moving up here to Cumming, Georgia. Right on, man. Paul Steen. Okay, cool. Okay, hold on a sec. Oh, boy. Why we got I hate you on here? Let's get rid of that guy. Remove that guy. All right. Oh, did I remove him or just that one? Okay, let's just remove. All right, hide user. Good, good, good. All right. All right, why did let's see, one sec. Yeah, so my man Greg says, see more and more articles on the merits of paying off your mortgage versus taking the interest deduction based on new tax laws. Yeah, and standard deduction. Absolutely, Greg. No one's going to take the standard deduction. And I don't mean literally no one, but the vast majority of us are going to take the standard deduction. No one's going to take itemization for sure. The vast majority of us are going to take the standard deduction. So if you have mortgage interest, you can't take a deduction unless you itemize. Now, there's a friend of mine on this who happens to be a realtor. So cover your ears, my Connecticut friend. A lot of realtors and bankers can say, look, the cost of mortgage is only 4%, but it's actually only cost you 3.2% because you take the deduction on interest. You're like, the hell's bells I do? I can't take a deduction. My income's only $60,000. I only have $8,000 in mortgage interest. I might tithe, so I give $6,000 to the church. That's still not enough to beat the standard deduction. Hell's bells. And you're like, okay, so what that? So Greg, 100%. There is no mortgage interest deduction for many people, unless you're like your old buddy Josh, who has a big mortgage with a lot of interest deduction, which is painful to me. I was just talking to my son about that today. He said, don't be like me. Be like somebody else, not me. And, I like my house. I'm glad I'm here, but it is a freaking bane in my existence, this sucker. And anyway, it is what it is. All right. My man A. Miller says, the problem I have with your site is I didn't discover it till I was 72. All right, well, better late than never. A. Miller. Love my low property tax in Florida. Don't like the heat, but I have AC. Right on. My Schwab. Exactly. Tom B says to Robert Berry, my Schwab account keeps track of the reinvestment dividends for long-term purposes. Exactly. And yours should too, Robert. Yours should too. My property. Yeah. Oh, neighbor. Think about condos, by the way. I know some of these condos have big fees. That sucks. All right. So can I discuss the 5-year moratorium, when to convert from an IRA to a Roth after 66 and a half? Yes, I had an email on this today too, so I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm not sure if that's you who emailed me. All right. So always remember, if you're over the age of 59 and a half and you convert, all right, you have access to the converted amount without penalty. And if you just think about it like this, if you were to take a distribution from your traditional IRA, would it be without penalty? Yes, because you're over the age of 59 and a half. So if you convert from a traditional IRA to a Roth and later on down the road in a year, you want access to the Roth, would you have access to the principal without penalty? Yes, just like a traditional IRA would. Would you have access to the gains tax-free? No, you don't. You have to have 5 years. And I'm just telling you, it's the last I've read, there's no PLR, private letter ruling. At least I'm going back a couple years. They might have changed that since. But at the end of the day, each conversion should be its own 5 years. I've thought back and forth on that in my own case. I just don't mess with the IRS, man. They're going to win. They're going to win. So if you do $100,000 or $10,000 today, 5 years, that $10,000 plus whatever the growth is, yours completely tax-free without question. If you do $10,000 today, 2 years from now, the $10,000 you converted is yours tax-free and penalty-free without question, because you already paid the tax on it. If there's any growth on that $10,000, that is not available to you tax-free. I hope that makes sense, because you haven't kept it in there for 5 years. So the principal, if you're over the age of 59 and a half, the principal is always there for the taking without penalty. The gains are not there for the taking without penalty unless you've had the converted amount be 5 years. So if you're going to do conversions each and every year, I just caution you, do conversion 1, wait 5 years, do conversion 2, wait 5 years, and so on and so on. And you should wait anyway. If you're going to pull the money out before 5 years, I don't even why even bother. Let's see here. Going to be 108 degrees here in California. That's nuts, man. It's hot. Two values. Oh, wow. 218,000 exemption for property taxes in Alaska after age of 65. That's fantastic. My man Ron from Calgary is back online. Remember Calgary? Man, I love Calgary. I've never been there. That's one place I got to go. If you're a veteran and come to Texas, don't use Dallas or Houston, VA. I heard bad things about these locations. Everything will collapse someday. No one knows when. Yeah. Did you know? Shh. If you eat carrots, I can't. I just can't. Everyone's going to get off this. If you eat carrots, you will die. It's true. It's fact. Science proves it. If you eat carrots, you will die. All right. Rita says, meant to say, if I leave now before age 62, I take it. I didn't see Rita, I didn't see. It looks like your message was retracted, my friend. So I did not see the message previous to that, Rita. So you might have to write it again. Why do people think bonds are the way to go? Yeah, my man, did I already answer that? Why do people think the bonds are the way to go? I've watched your videos. Yeah, I just because they're looking historically, Craig. It drives me up the wall. If you bought a bond in 1982, you're freaking cast me out, man. You would have got 15 and a quarter from a 30-year treasury bond, guaranteed for the next 30 years. 15 and a quarter. You could not make that up. That's insane. And so bond rates from then have gone like this. They crashed and burned. And so when bond rates crash and burn, the price of those older bonds do the exact opposite until they mature. But at the end of the day, so what happens is, and everyone's looking back saying, I was getting 8% a year of my bonds back. You're not getting them now? We used to have a fund at USAIX, the USAA Income Fund. I remember people would sell, that fund has averaged 8.82% since 1974. I'd say it's not going to, I mean, I'm telling, it'd be like nuts. People say, I want to buy that fund. I say, you're not going to get 8.12%, whatever the hell it was. You're not. And the yield right now is 3.325, whatever. That's all you're going to get. Most. And people, no, I don't believe you. It says 8.24%. I said, because the rates were so much higher back then. So much higher. And everyone and their mom, they looks at these history of bonds, Craig, and they think that's what they're going to get going forward. It's not going to happen. Bonds are, I just don't want to do it here. Bonds are as easy to calculate as freaking 2 + 2 is 4, or that Tom Brady is the GOAT. These things are inevitably science-backed. We know these things to be true. Tom Brady's a GOAT, and 2 + 2 is 4. Bonds. They issue a yield. They issue at the par at $100 is usually $1,000. But we'll just say $100 that matures at $100 is the only other way it could happen is if it didn't go mature. It went bankrupt. That's it. So it issued at 100, matured at 100. There are things, calls in there. We're not going to get into that. But most bonds, even call bonds, are still have the same process consideration. I issue it. I'm Josh Scanlon LLC. I issued a bond to my man Craig. Craig pays me $100. He loans me $100. I say, thank you, Craig. I will give you 5% a year for the next 10 years. 10 years, Craig comes back. He says, where are my money? I said, here's your $100 back. What did Craig make? He made 5% a year. He made, was that $5 a year in interest? That's it. No more, no less. Now, what happens is if I go kaput and I file bankruptcy, Craig comes back and says, where's Josh? And I said, sorry, buddy, you are SOL. You don't get anything. Craig might have made a couple interest payments, but on that, he's kaput. So Craig loses. That's the risk of bonds. But at the end of the day, there's nothing else. Everything else is irrelevant. Nothing else matters. Other interest rates, other bonds. Joey down the street has a different company. He's going to issue a higher yield bond. None of that matters. Craig owns a bond to me. I have a debt to Craig. He has a credit to me. All right. I pay him $5 a year in interest. 10 years from now, he gets his money back. It's literally that simple. That means he will have got 5% a year. No, there's no ifs, ands, or buts on that. If there's one thing I can stress to people, other than don't follow the craziness of Susie Ormans and everybody, and Dave Ramsey, with their insane talk on investment returns and you need $5 million. That remember, bonds are as simple as that. Literally, there is no other way to value them. There's not. Went from global and now, yeah. Wait a second. Big Red, I thought you might live. Whoa. Big Red, I always thought you were Big Red. Lived. I've always been calling you my liberal friend. But now you're, okay, maybe not so much. Maybe it's my own prejudice there. So if I called you a big lib and that's not you, my apologies, sir. If you have at least 10% VA disabled, you can get a good property tax discount in most states as well. Absolutely. No, right on. Russian communists are watching. You better not go out. Cock the law, man. Cock the law. Hey, right on, Kevin. Love the new book. Let's see. Susie, is it? Yeah. Yeah. Dave, I don't get it, man. I was watching his video. Someone sent it to me the other day, and Dave was just nuts. There's no other way around that. He was like really chastising the investment industry. And look, they get a lot to be chastised for, but he wasn't being, let's just put this, he was being mean-spirited. There's no other way around that. It was bad. And I was embarrassed for him. I was really embarrassed for him. The best way to make your point without coming across like an ass is comedy. And I'm not saying be Norm Macdonald, by the way, but the guy is just nuts. That guy is freaking incredible. But making fun of people in a way that's the comedic is a wonderful way to get your point across without coming across like an ass. And I was incredibly disappointed with Dave Ramsey. I was like, yeah, people are negative in general. I agree. And as a general rule for the majority, I'll delay my Social Security later thanks to your videos. Now looking at 69 in 3 months. Yeah, right on, Jerry. I hate you. We love you. There you go, man. It's funny thing. All these guys say, I hate God. It doesn't matter. God still loves you, brother. You can hate him all day long. He still loves you. It's just the way the big guy upstairs is. He loves all. We're all made in his image and his creation. So hate away. It won't change the fact he loves. And as human beings, we should all be like that. Do you think it'd be wise to take Social Security at 66 and continue to work, or wait till 68 or 70 to? It depends on what the situation is, Keith, my man. Take Social Security at 66 and continue to work. If you work even at 66, if your income you're making, I got to watch the batteries running low. Think about these MacBooks. The batteries aren't nearly as long-lived as my Chromebooks, and I can plug it in. I hate you works on the Bernie Sanders campaign. Remember, so if you have low to zero in your earnings history, and you're working at 66, and you're replacing some of those low to zero years with the numbers when you're 66, that would be beneficial to your Social Security benefit. They will adjust it accordingly because you've now lost one of your previous years and replaced it with a higher earnings year. So working even beyond 66, even if you're taking Social Security, they're still going to readjust your benefit, even if going on to 70. So the question is, should you do it? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tough one to say. My man Mike says he's 60 with $650K in a 401k and wants to retire at age 62. Monthly mortgage is $950 a month. Ain't bad. With 7 more years to pay off, should I continue making payments? Or yeah. No, I don't like the idea of pulling it, Mike, out of your 401k in a lump sum and paying that sucker off just because you're going to pay significant taxes on that. I don't think that's advisable at all. I just keep doing what you're doing, frankly. If you got some excess scratch to put towards it, by all means do so. But I would not take a lump sum distribution in order to pay off a mortgage. Not a fan of that, just because of taxes. Taxes is just not good. Worked to 68 was hard to do. Now I don't regret it. Yeah, I mean that's if you can hang in there and not have a heart attack. The longer you work, I think a lot of people think I say working is you shouldn't do it. No. I say if it's literally depressing you and hurting you physically, and you have the wherewithal to quit, then get the hell out. But if it helps you for your financial consequences, stay at work for a couple extra years, I don't tell you to leave. But if it's hurting you mentally and physically, yeah, leave without question. Wow, you can get a 5-year CD for $3.5. That's nuts, man. Our Russian pensions are $159 to $250 a month. Wow, that's not much. At Navy Fed, all right, Navy. Whoa, 5-year CD at Navy Fed, $3.5. You'd have to make. I would have to wonder why you have any bonds if you get a 5-year CD at Navy Fed. And NCUA, which is the credit union version of FDIC, is actually, my understanding, a little bit stronger even than the FDIC. Don't quote me on that, but that was my understanding with people I've known who were big wigs in some various credit unions. NC, that's not great, but it's better than FDIC in terms of its ability to make good you whole if the credit union went kaput. Hard to imagine Navy Federal going kaput because it's by far and away the biggest credit union out there. But NCUA is pretty strong. FDIC, not as strong. Again, that's my understanding. Rita says, spouse retired and I'd like to retire at the end of 59 with a reduced pension. Should I take Social Security at Rita? That's tough to say. Generally, maybe. How's that a political position? I just don't know. I mean, generally speaking, the lower breadwinning spouse, i.e. Rita, potentially, all right, and I'm going to say my wife, Charlotte, she'll have a lower Social Security benefit than I. And she should take it early, all right, and I should delay. And then for a number of reasons for that is because my benefit is higher, and I'm a man, and I'm 4 years older than my beautiful. And so I'm certainly going to die first, right? So when I die, I'll have left her a much higher benefit by waiting for my delayed earnings credits. But because her benefit isn't that much to begin with, I mean, she can get, let's say, $900 a month as reduced benefit at 62. Well, hell, might as well take it to at least get that money going. And then, knowing that's not going to put food on the table, I mean, a little bit, but it's not going to make a huge difference overall in the scheme of things. If she waits until she's 67, when she gets $900 a month, I have no idea what her benefit is. But if she gets $900 a month at 62 or $1,300 at 67, and I'm waiting until I'm 70. It doesn't seem a huge benefit for her to delay, in my opinion. That might be the same as you. Don't quote me on this specific now, Rita. I don't know your situation. Don't quote me. But generally speaking, the rule of thumb is the lower breadwinner to take it early and allow the higher breadwinner to delay. I hope that makes sense. But I don't know. I don't know because I don't know your situation. Thank you for the tube cast. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Atlas Shrugged. And Ayn Rand is on here. The best Ayn Rand book is not Atlas Shrugged. It's not. It was the... I am drawing a blank. Jeez Louise. Debating whether to invest 55% in HS money or currently... I'd invest it. I mean, the minute I say that, Kevin, you're going to invest it, it's going to go down to zero and then you're going to sue me. But I would invest it. If it's me, I'd invest it. I look for your books at local Barnes and Noble. I'm interested in buying one of each that you've written. Where should I buy your books? Amazon, man. No, by all means, Amazon. I think, but you can rent. You can get on Kindle Unlimited for free if you got that. So no, I appreciate the benefit me most, but that's all. You being on this YouTube benefits me too now. But yeah, no, much obliged there. But yes, go on Amazon and get it. And that does benefit me for sure. Don't you know people can't stand prosperity? Well, people can't stand you having prosperity. They love it. You hear about that Julia Salazar lady that my man Tim Pool was talking about the other day? I mean, she's a trust fund. We call them trustafarians. Trust fund baby. And she's saying she's an immigrant from the working class, and she had like a $10 million trust fund, which she said, no, I didn't say 10 million. I meant 400,000. You're like, okay. Yeah, bullcrap, lady. And it just, oh my goodness. I don't get these people who try so hard it's like freaking Lenin and I can't remember Stalin, but Che Guevara was a rich boy. Hell, Osama bin Laden was a rich boy. I don't get all these rich people try so hard to show their working class roots, even though they got trust funds. It just, oh my goodness. I can't stand that. I hate that. Socialist, rich socialist. I'm like, you got everything handed to you on a silver platter, sister, and now you want to deny those same people from getting the same thing. What is that? You walk the walk. I mean, you talk at the top, but these people never walk the walk. It drives me insane. Limousine liberals and country club Republicans. I don't like any of them. Sorry, that's just my opinion. Ugh. Oh, you make some good money making nice barbecue pits down here in Texas. Oh, I'm saving my butt off. Hey, my man Dustin, right on, man. I'm saving my butt off max TSP, max Roth IRA, so I can work easy in my 50s. Gosh, spot on, brother. Stay out of debt and teach children to be self-reliant. Adult children coming back to the trough is like bad debt. I retired last year, but I have some post-stress. I have to say to myself, stop it. You are not working anymore. My man Jose Leon Lopez says, I suck ass. Man, if you only knew, brother, so we'll hide you. Dieter says, don't buy any stock, only buy gold and silver because Dieter sells gold and silver. I know. I noticed that too, man. I got union pension. I'm scared. No, why would you be scared about your union pension? I mean, because you think they might not be as well structured as the municipality pensions. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about it anyway, man. It's just, you can't, there's nothing to do, Phil, you can't, nothing to be scared about because what's scaring yourself about it going to do? It's not going to change anything. So you can't. The nice thing about the union stuff is that you do have a group of people that you can gather quickly to protest and say, we want our money, as opposed to, if you're not in a union. That's the one benefit of the union that you have is you have this group of people inherently all in the same boat, all going to push for the same benefits. Capitalism hit the end of the road. All right. Okay. What capital? We've only heard that a million times. Who else told us that capitalism hit the end of the road? Oh, some guy named Karl Marx in the 1800s. And yet, where are we today? James Collins. That's it. Yeah. Good to Great by James Collins. Yep. Exactly. I retired 3 months ago at 47, and I'm glad. Had lots of FU money. No regrets. I love Virginia. Warm green with no humidity. Two words, San Diego, but you got to have scratch before they're even. And I don't have that kind of scratch. And again, I like my firearms. I certainly like my AR, so I'll never give them up. But you never shoot them. I don't want to shoot them. I just like them. I enjoy them. The look. I shot them when I was in the Army, M16s. Been if I ever get to the range one day, well, I have shot a couple times. And when my kids are old, and I take my daughter shoot my. She shot my Glocks. I don't think she shot my AR yet, but we'll take them to the range here locally in Roswell. Let them shoot up the ARs. The ammunition ain't cheap though, that's for sure. And at least in Georgia, we can have 30-round mags. Oh my goodness, a 30-round mag! Everyone's gonna go crazy. It's true. Having that magazine makes everyone just this one inanimate object. Pretend this is a magazine. I have this magazine. I just start going crazy. Like James Hodgkinson, the guy who shot the Congressional Republican softball. He was normal until he had a view of an AR-15. Then all of a sudden he went crazy. The inanimate object of an AR-15 makes people insane. That doesn't make any sense. Or are people insane before? Yeah, maybe that's it. All right, dude, you gotta go, brother. Stop. Why I don't get why you're being like this, man. It could easily, you could hang out there. Mary says, "A breath of fresh air." Hot air, Mary, hot air. 58 years of age, says my man Paul. Mark moved from California to Georgia. Where are you at, Mark? And I'm gonna have to move this over here so I can get my battery. I can get the. Hold on, just a second. I gotta get my. I'm gonna have to sit in my chair so I can get the. I'm running low on my battery. All right, you want to get your jammies on? I gotta tell my kids to get their jammies on. All right, there we go. I actually like these live streams. I enjoy them immensely. And I'm going to put this on Splinty. There you go. And I appreciate y'all being here. I love doing this. Really do. It allows me to make, to laugh. And I like to laugh. Give only checks to churches unless you go through CPA and they'll tell you how to do it. I don't think so, Ben. I think any church can easily tell you how to get money to them from your investment account. I mean, at any 501(c), they know how to do that for sure. 58 years old. My man Paul, about 600K in 401k, socking about 15K in Roth. I started this year. Okay, man, that's freaking awesome. I used to live in San Diego. Too bad it's in California. Josh is the hardest working man in financial planning. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, there's my man Big Red. Is this the same Big Red? I thought I don't get it because maybe Big Red just trolled me one point. All right. Whoa, Sarah. All right, hey, okay, cool. Sarah Grillo is on here. Awesome, man. All right, Sarah. So Sarah Grillo does a YouTube for financial advisors, not all for financial advisors, and a podcast. And I'm a big fan of Sarah. She interviewed me on her podcast, and I got to return the favor. You think I'm the hardest working man in financial planning? Sarah has 4 children. She lives in, I think, New York, if memory serves, up there someplace, but she's from Boston. So she, like all smart people, love the Bruins. Anyone who doesn't love the Bruins, obviously, not Mensa qualified. That's all there is to it. So if you're interested in financial planning, you might, in terms of being a financial planning and producing stuff, that her channel would be pretty good for you to kind of get the gauge of how to get marketing, get clients and stuff like that. She also writes in Advisor Perspectives, which is I love Advisor Perspectives. Love it. And you should too. So anyone's out there thinking about going the route of financial planning as a career, I'd highly recommend you look at Sarah, S-A-R-A, Grillo, G-R-I-L-L-O. Got good stuff, man. She got good stuff. And she's a nut, kind of like me. All right, so what about Roth conversion, says my man Paul. When married, filing jointly, good friend's wife passed away, and now all income's taxed a single rate. Yep, that freaking sucks, man. That sucks. That is the essential part of my whole YouTube channel, my whole reason to exist, Paul. Good friend's wife passed away, and now all income is taxed at a single rate. That sucks. That they should have done Roth conversions to take advantage of married filing joint. There's no other way around that. Someone said AC/DC. I must have missed some good music talk about music. I don't know much about the dividend aristocrats, Craig. I don't know much about it. I just don't know. But I do like the total stock market index. My man Leo says, Have you seen people drive Magic very little by using cash or Roth until 65, structure correctly and get the maximum? So yeah, absolutely, man. I have seen that. Yeah. I mean, look, we don't create the tax code. The tax code is created for us. I don't like people taking advantage of Medicaid like that, Leo. If they're going to do that to get Obamacare subsidies, I don't have any qualm with that. I don't like millionaires hiding assets in order to qualify for Medicaid, because that literally is taking beds away, an opportunity away from people who are poor and need it. That's just a fact. Medicaid is dying on the vine. Medicaid is in doomsday scenario. And for rich people to assume that they're poor in order to qualify for, no, I just don't understand. Why would you want to qualify for Medicaid? It's weird to me. But to do that, that's not kosher to me. To hide, and I'm not saying hide income, but to reduce income to qualify for, to not be able to pay a full usage of the tax code as per the Obama rules. I just don't have any qualm with that. I mean, I wish it wasn't like that, but I can't fault people for doing it. I wish we didn't have that. I still say just freaking vouchers, man. Give us all vouchers. Let buy your own damn health insurance. That's simple. Get out of the employer. Why does the employer have to know what health insurance stuff? Talk about inefficiency. All right, so let's see what else. Good thing you don't like carrots. I'm telling you, if you eat carrots, you're going to die. Let's see. Usual Tommy comment had to happen. He'll be back this week, Josh. I didn't see it. I missed it. All right, I missed it. Sorry, man. Sorry, Rob. Love your channel every week. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Richard, sorry. Is taking care of the baby while watching. Sorry. No, Sarah. I don't care. I don't agree with Susie Orman's pushing people to keep working until golden years to maximize their Social Security and retirement. It's a deferred life plan. Not many years. I agree. So I don't get Susie Orman. I don't get it. My man Devin on his video today, he talked about Susie Orman is on socialsecurity.gov. Advocating for you to sign up for myssa.gov. It's just the idea that Susie Orman, with her somewhat shady background, is being used by Social Security. I find that a little bit frightening, frankly. Stop eating carrots. Right on. CDs for me that pay month and reinvest every month. Self-directed Roth, best investment tool you ever get. I 100% agree, as long as you pick the right investments. No bonds in your Roth. No bonds in your. How do I still have a low battery? Charging this guy. All right, well, it looks like. I'm not sure why. Oh, never mind. I got the wrong thing in there. Hold on just a second. I'll probably be on here another 15 minutes, and then we'll call it a night. There we go. Sweet. Okay. Jeez, big red, man. Right on. All right. Well, I appreciate that. Can I piggyback on Social Security question? Wife will never equal half of my benefit. Should she start drawing her own benefit and take half my benefit at FRA? So you're not, she won't, but she won't get her benefit until you file. She won't get her spousal benefit until you file. So Diana, just remember that you have to file for the spousal benefit to ensue, if that makes sense. So if she takes her reduced benefit off her own benefit, then you file at 70. Yeah, let her get her spouse benefit, sure. If you have already filed, they're going to deem her to get the most of the spousal benefit, i.e. half of yours, or her own benefit, and they'll both be reduced at 62. So if you have not filed, she has access to her benefit. If you have filed, they're going to give her the most of the two. She can't make the choice. That probably makes no sense. I hope it does. I left my job in February. Health problems I had for over 10 years are no longer. Look at that. I had no idea what stress was doing to me. Josh helped me make that decision. Not sure he knows. Man, that's freaking woo. I left my job from health problems. And after 10 years, he's no longer got stress. Freaking how awesome is that? Just some dude on YouTube sitting here yapping, not making any sense, talking way too long. My jokes are corny. And yet here's a guy who's telling me right here that I helped him reduce his stress. I just, if you can't be humbled by this stuff, man, me. It's freaking nuts. It's insane because I'm just some dude. I know a lot of this. I'm not trying to be, what's the word I'm looking for, too disparaging of myself, but a lot of people knows this stuff too. And the fact that they can't, I don't know what it is. Why can't they get out there and say stuff that helps people? Why is it there's just a few and far between. It pisses me off. Not gonna lie. It's like, I'm not the only guy who knows this. There are tons of people out there. I wonder if it's because they're all so busy writing for the trade rags so they can impress each other with their credentials. I was in the Journal for Financial Planning. Well, no one reads that crap other than, financial professionals. But are we trying to show how smart we are with these theories? Or are we trying to help people? Well, I only help people who've got $1 million that are willing to pay me a 1% fee. Well, no wonder why no one knows what the hell's going on, because there's only so many people in the world that got $1 million and they were willing to pay a 1% fee. But just on a side note, I've been freaking swamped with people wanting to hire me. Swamped, willing to pay the $2,500. I mean, I love it, but I can't deal with all these people. And I just tell people who are my friends in the business, said, there's a huge market out there, but they don't want to pay for asset management, but they want to pay for advice. I will, if I were to take on every single person that emailed me, I'd make more money by far this year, by far, than I've ever made. And I made good money at USAA, good money. It's nuts. I just can't, and I love it, but I can't, I just don't understand why there's not more people doing this. The money's out there. You're doing good work for people, and just people want to pay you. They just don't want to pay for stupid asset management, because there's no asset management is a losing game if you're the client. It's a winning game if you're the investor, if you're the stock guy or whatever, the financial advisor. It's a horrible losing investment if you're the client, though. It's inherent. Yeah, now working a different job, downsizing my home, and will be debt-free soon. I have time for my family, time for me. I look forward to, man, that's freaking awesome, dude. My man Ben says he's been retired and debt-free since 38 myself. Trade, hey, right on. Well, Ben, you should do a video YouTube channel on trading stock options, man. I tell you, people would get a lot out of that. I'm telling you, people would. Frugal, I've never seen this person. Frugal City, the first I've seen this guy. Mike Carpenter says, I have 100% of assets in Roth, then you have to be 100% equities. Yeah. I mean, if all you got is in Roth, that's a good problem to have, Mike. Yeah, I don't. In that case, I wouldn't say no bonds and cash and Roth. If that's all you got, you certainly can be some cash and bonds. Absolutely. Mary says, good to hear you're doing so well. Thanks, Mary. My man says, Josh, you're the first financial planning person who explained to me the tax ramifications 401k. My man Bruce in Rochester, love that guy. A little late, can't hang on. I'll listen to the whole later. And Vic G, Josh, people will pay for good advice. They're scared to trust anyone anymore because they can see. Yeah, no, Vic, I think that's spot on. I think the YouTube is a wonderful mechanism for promotion. That way people get a gauge of who you are and who the real person is. Some of these YouTube financial guys, I just want to, literally slip my wrist, get on the Empire State Building, jump into a pool of starving great whites because they're so boring and they're so almost arrogant, and it's just not fun to watch. And I just said, have some freaking, just be a human. You don't have to, look, I came on, and I said this last week, I had the monkey suit on, but I didn't want to be just some dude. I didn't want to be that guy. And my man Rich and I used to do these seminars all up and down the East Coast. He's my man from New Orleans. And we just would goof. And every time we goof on each other, because he was my West Point guy, and I was telling him, and we just goof on each other. And the attendees loved it. They thought it was fun, it was interesting. I don't want to say it's exciting, because this can never be that exciting, but people enjoyed it immensely, just because it wasn't like the freaking dog and pony show, the surf and turf stuff. We're just like, oh, I just want to kill myself. We had fun, and it was fun, kind of bagging on each other. Because those West Point guys, they're not that bright, and I had to bag on him a little bit, and he bagged on me, and as a private E1 after a year of. But the reason I was a private E1 is because I got a couple Article 15s in my early part where I could not get promoted for a full year. My man Daniel, who runs a website. Oh man, I forgot what it's called. It's a good one though. If you want to post it on there, Daniel, post it on there. I just can't remember what it's called. Aging with Freedom or something like that. I forgot. But for me, hi, Dad, is up. Nothing to add tonight. Right on, man. All right. Well, it looks like we're winding down here, and I'm getting tired too. Dan from Tucson, Social Security question. Is there a max of Social Security monthly PIA? Yeah, the max is, I think it's like 3,007 right now. Dan from Tucson. Aging with Freedom. That's my man, Daniel Weingarten's. He sent me a couple good articles, actually, which I need to read. And I have yet to do that because I'm freaking insanely busy. It's been awesome. Awesome being busy. Another thing, too, when you retire, I've noticed this about myself. The busier I am, the more motivated I am. It's weird. When you don't have anything to do, that's when the negative stuff kicks in. When you got a lot to do, that's when you can delete your Facebook account. That's when you can say, screw everything. I'm going to hell's bells. Being busy is I think what God meant for us to do. He did not meant us to sit around, freaking lighting cigars with $100 bills. But anyway, my man Daniel, Aging with Freedom, a good Facebook page. I think his website too. All right, so Social Security question from my man. This will be the last one. Dan says, yeah. All right, so you're not going to get. The only way you'd get 4K is if you had the max PIA, which I don't even think you could there. Let me just see real quick. 3,000. Oops, you got it, Mike. Times 1.32. Yeah, the only way you get 4K, Dan, is if you had the max PIA, about $3,070, I think, and your full retirement age is 66, and you delayed it till you're 70. Then you get about $3,970 or something like that. That's it. So I my inclination, I bet that's, I don't take this wrong, but my inclination, I bet that might not be what you're calculating correctly. Yeah, but that's the only way you get to get 4,000. But you can get pretty doggone close, but it won't be at FRA. Does that make sense? It'll be at 70. So I don't think you're doing the calculation correct there. All right, my friends. We'll see you guys next week, every Sunday at 2000, as we used to say in the military, at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Much obliged to y'all being here. Thanks for smashing. It's just great. It's freaking awesome. I feel like this is a friendship, and I greatly enjoy it. And if I come across sometimes as a little bit over the top and I'm not trying to offend anybody. Like my man Big Red, when he disagreed with me, and of course he was wrong and I was right, but still, at the end of the day, if I do piss you off, I appreciate it. I don't have any qualm. You saying you went over the top. I'm willing to admit mistakes. I'm not willing to admit socialism will ever work. You'll never get me to say yes on that. That's a non-starter. And I'm frankly not that willing to admit CO2 is the evil. Just not. I guess I could be convinced on that. I don't think so, but I will never be convinced of socialism. But I can be convinced if I've been, like my man Fred said the other day, you didn't have to use the term Marxist in your book. And my man Alberto, when I was saying something about the fire movement, it came across the way I did not want. So if I come across that way, just let me know. All right, we'll see you guys later on. Go Pats! Touchdown Tom Brady. The GOAT, as we know, it's science, man. It's science. All right, we'll see you guys later. All right, dudes, y'all ready?